First of all, I just want to thank all of you that came out and supported us this week. It was a crazy week of volleyball. You definitely could get your fill if you wanted to, but there was a lot of people just even on Tuesday to be able to stay for 3 hours and keep cheering us on. I know there's some people that needed to leave and completely understand that, but then to be able to be there for the weekend as well, 4 matches. Our pep crew for our students was amazing. I'm very glad to have them there and their support. So thank you. Obviously it was a crazy week for our team as well, and I'm not going to go through each match because we'll be here for a long time if I do that, but just to point out a couple things. I talked last week about not having a lot of practice time, and with our match on Tuesday against Iowa State, it definitely made that for even less practice time than we originally had wanted. Wednesday we ended up doing just pool workout to shake out their legs a little bit, and then a very, very short workout on Thursday as well. So basically zero practice time this week. So very proud of our kids to be able to we talked a lot, we watched a lot of film, but didn't physically practice against anything this week just to try to save them. And the Illinois State match on Friday was a tough one for us. You know, we had both extremes. I talked to our kids. One of the oldest athletic sayings is the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and we experienced that within a couple days with the 5-set crazy win against Iowa State and then the 5-set loss against Illinois State. And that one was a tough one for us, just obviously because of the start of the conference race, which we know is going to be extremely tough. I thought Illinois State played great, played much better than they were on video. I also think that we had a lot of trouble adjusting to what they were doing. I thought they did a good job of taking us out of what we like to do. So we just needed to be better at adjusting to them. I think they had 2 kids that had career nights in kills, and that doesn't include their middle, who is, in my opinion, one of the best middles in the country. They also had their libero have a career night in digs. So I told our kids it took 3 kids to have career nights in order to beat us in 5. I also felt we didn't feel great the entire night, and so to be able to hang in there against a really good Illinois State team, not feeling like things were flowing very well, we have to look at the positive side of that. Obviously, we'll get to see them again. But the biggest thing for us was to be able to refocus. I know that was the start of our conference season, but we kind of had to put the conference aside. We had 3 more matches in our non-conference season, and to me, it has been a great non-conference season for our team. What we've been able to do, how we've been able to grow, the things that we've improved on, the ability to see where we're at, where we want to be, and how to get there has been huge, and we really felt as coaches it was important to finish that non-conference season very strong against 3 good teams at home. So having our kids in 24 hours be able to put that tough loss aside and come back, and again, after being physically, mentally, emotionally drained from 2 5-set matches, we felt was going to be a very big challenge. And our kids completely stepped up to that challenge. I would have never guessed that they had the week that they had. Never in the locker room was there any look like, oh my gosh, we're here again. We're watching video again. 5 matches to prepare for is a big deal for our team, and I just give them a lot of credit for being physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to compete. So we ended up being able to beat Northwestern, Syracuse, and North Dakota State all in 3 sets, and part of that was just the execution and focus. Part of that, in my opinion, is just pure guts for our team going out there and still being willing to work very hard to get better. So very proud of our non-conference season, and again, being able to see where we're at and where we want to be. Start off this week with the true conference season in terms of it's our first road weekend. Southern Evansville, for those of you who come here year in and year out, that's always a really tough road swing for us. It's a long trip. There are 2 teams that play in smaller facilities. So obviously we're used to practicing and being in the McLeod Center. So the atmosphere is just a little bit different. And I think the biggest changes and challenges when you have different atmospheres like that is the serve and pass game. So we'll have an opportunity to get in there and practice a little bit the serve and pass part of our game to get used to that. But that will be our biggest challenges in my mind, being able to adjust to that. Southern was picked 3rd, so right above us in the conference. They graduated 1 senior off of last year's very tough team. I talked about USC's high risk, high reward offense. That is Southern Illinois. They've had that for the last probably 3 or 4 years. So The biggest challenge for us is we are not able to duplicate that offense in practice. We don't have that capability. So when I talked about being able to make adjustments as the match goes on, this is a big one for us against Southern. Being able to get into what their offense does and being able to figure out how to defend it without actually being able to physically do that in practice. So a very tough Southern team. We turn around and play Evansville, who to me is completely different. They don't return a lot of starters at all. We haven't seen video on them yet, so we don't know what they do or how they do it yet. But the next couple days we'll have a chance to watch video on both of those teams. So looking forward to the start of the conference and the big road weekend. We'd like to make up for that home loss by getting a couple wins this weekend for sure. Any questions?
Bobby, if you look at just the match scores, it looked like it got stronger at the tail end of that tough schedule. How's the stamina of the team right now?
You know, like I said, I was really surprised on Saturday and Sunday, and we don't talk about it. You know, we don't talk about how tired they could possibly be. You know, we're just talking about after matches. All right, you need to roll out, stretch out, ice bath. You know, do the things that you need to do to get ready to be physically and emotionally and mentally ready for tomorrow. You know, I think this week of practice, it is definitely going to be something where we have to get a feel of how we're doing. Adrenaline, the ability to get pumped up for matches can help you fight through some of that, but so we have to be really conscientious of making sure that they really are fresh. We won't do anything today, and then the next 3 days after that will depend a lot on how they're feeling. You know, we'll have a practice plan, but we'll be able to adjust accordingly.
Having already said enough about your own non-conference, how about the Valley as a whole and the great games that the conference is able to make through the non-conference?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting things this year. It's every team doing their job as far as the schedule they put in front of their teams, what they've been able to go out and do. Southern Illinois is one of those teams. They've played 2 or 3 teams in the top 25. They didn't beat those teams, but they got games from those teams and competed very well. I think it also gives some conferences that don't get a lot of experience with some of the Valley's teams an opportunity to see what our conference is all about, and I really think it will help, obviously, with those at-large bids at the end of the season. All right, thank you.